Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Break the Script. I am Srinath. Today we are going to be talking about FIRE movement. FIRE stands for Financially Independent Retire Early. It's a very popular movement in the US. It's gaining popularity in India. A lot of people these days on Reddit, they talk about how they want to retire early and how they're investing in mutual funds, in equity to retire early. This is sort of a very common goal. Everybody wants to retire early because we require a lot of free time, right? Nothing wrong in that. However, there is a flaw in the FIRE movement. I'm going to be covering 4 points today. These 4 points are reasons why you may not be able to retire early despite achieving your FIRE corpus. Now, simply put, the FIRE corpus is nothing but a corpus that is required for you to generate returns for, let's say, the next 40 or 50 years. Now, once you've achieved this corpus could, let's say, be 5 crore. Once you achieve 5 crore, if it covers your burn rate for the next 40 years, you can retire early. And you can do whatever you love, or you can stop working, spend time with your kids. You decide what you want to do. Now, after you achieve your corpus, here are 4 reasons why you cannot retire early. The first one is return consistency. Now, all the finfluencers on YouTube will tell you that you can get 12% rate of return through mutual funds, through equity, through maybe rent or any other means, right? While this is backed by data, the important point to note is this is backed by historic data. The data that you're looking at here is not forward looking. It's almost impossible to look at forward looking data. However, we can take the example of a country like the US, which is a developed country. In a developed country like US, the rate of return that you can expect from the equity market is about 7% on an average. As India develops and becomes a developed country like US, the rate of return is likely to drop from 12% that these influencers are telling you to maybe a realistic 7%. When that drop happens, the corpus that you've accumulated will also fetch you lower returns. If it fetches you lower returns, it means that you would still need to have a job that maybe pays 20% of your bills, while 80% of it can come from this corpus. So it's essential to not retire early the moment you achieve this corpus. It's also important to take into account whether your burn rate is equal to the earn rate coming out of this corpus or whether you need to earn more. Point number 2, rising healthcare costs. If you had a relative who was recently admitted in the hospital, you would know that the healthcare prices are rising, and to get admitted in the hospital for one day costs anywhere about 50,000 to anywhere between 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees. They run tests randomly to find out the root cause of your problem, and for this it costs a lot of money, right? And this is expected to grow at 10% year on year. While, like I mentioned in point 1, if your corpus is not growing at a rate which is higher than the rate of growth of healthcare costs, it is likely that you may not have factored this in your FIRE calculation. It's important to note that we would require a huge corpus, and we would probably also require health insurance apart from the corpus that you've accumulated, which needs to be funded from your corpus. If you have a job and if you're remaining in a job after you have achieved your corpus, this would help you big time because you do have a health insurance covered already through the job, and your company pays for your term insurance. So in case of anything bad that happens, your family will still receive the term insurance benefits, and you need not purchase a separate term insurance policy. So it makes sense to still work. It need not be at the current capacity that you're at. Even if you've achieved, once you've achieved your FIRE corpus, you can maybe pick up a job which is a less pressurizing job but still provides the insurance benefits. Point number 3, increased standard of living. Now, as our salary increases, we have the tendency to improve our standard of living. Nothing wrong in that. All of us are guilty of it. While you started your career, probably you had a Samsung phone, a basic one. Right now, probably you have an iPhone. I'm not judging you, but you probably do. All of us are guilty of this, and as we increase our standard of living, the fire corpus that we've accumulated might not be sufficient. Even if you have 5 crores accumulated in your fire corpus, if you're spending maybe 50 lakhs a year, that may not be sufficient. So you might have to bake in the component of standard of living in your fire costs if you haven't already done. If not, once you've accumulated the fire corpus, you might want to bring down the burn rate. Point number 4, maintaining discipline. Once you've maintained discipline for 20 years and you've accumulated a huge corpus, it's essential that you maintain the discipline for another 30 years. You cannot burn your corpus immediately. You still need to continue remaining disciplined. While only 5 to 10% of the folks will even achieve the fire corpus, remaining disciplined after achieving the fire corpus is another Herculean task. You can achieve this if you continue to work in parallel after you've achieved your goal, so that your additional luxury expenses can be covered by your salary, and then insurance covers your rising healthcare costs, and then finally your fire corpus may be used for really good things like vacations, or to gift your parents or gift your kids a car that they wanted, or whatnot. You can decide that. So in conclusion, the 4 points that you need to keep in mind once you achieve your fire corpus are: return consistency, rising healthcare costs, improved standard of living, maintaining discipline. That's all I have for today, guys. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.